Top 5 quickest muscle cars of the 1970s. The muscle car enthusiasts consider the late 70s model as a disgrace to the breed due to the lack of power and low compression engines. However, the early 70s models produced from 1970 to 1973 are the pinnacle of the era, combining high-performance engines, smooth lines, and everlasting designs. Emerging from the muscle car boom of the 60s, models from that era improved the original formula, adding new technologies and creating a class of vehicles that could outrun even the expensive European sports cars. Yes, the early 70s muscle cars were quick, but we are sure you will be amazed of their performance. Here are the top 5 quickest muscle cars from the 70s with their 0 to 60 mile-per-hour times, and definitely stay until the end to see what exact legendary machine made the cut. You will be surprised by the sheer numbers and quarter-mile times. Number 1. Buick GSX Stage 1, 1970. Not a lot of people know, but Buick was a considerable force in the upper echelon of the muscle car segment. Buicks were always fast and well-equipped cars, but the quickest of them all was the limited production Buick GSX, introduced in 1970. The GSX was a luxury muscle car with impressive firepower under the hood. The standard 455 V8 was equipped with a special intake, improved internals, and high compression heads to deliver 360 horsepower. Of course, the engine was significantly underrated by the factory. However, with a massive 510 pound-foot of torque, the GSX was crowned as the most powerful American car of the era. The torque was responsible for 6.1 second 0 to 60 mile-per-hour time, but even more importantly, for the 13.38 second quarter-mile time at 108 mile-per-hour trap speed. Those figures exceeded anyone's expectations, making the GSX one of the quickest street machines you could buy in 1970. Too bad that Buick only made 678 of those incredible coupes in 1970. Number 2. Chevrolet Chevelle SS454 LS6, 1970. The Chevelle SS was among the most popular muscle cars in the era, mainly due to its affordable price, but excellent choice of engines and equipment. The 1970 model looked great too. However, the SS454 LS6 was not only the most powerful model in the lineup, but one of the quickest cars ever produced by GM. For just a couple $100 more over the standard 360 horsepower Chevelle SS454, buyers could get the LS6 version with hotter components, unique intake, and heads that had a 450 horsepower monster delivered to their dealer. The LS6 was a rare option, and not a lot of customers even knew it was available. However, those who got it were impressed by the performance. The Chevelle SS454 LS6 could accelerate to 60 miles an hour in 5.5 seconds and cover a quarter mile in just 13.2 seconds at 108 miles per hour. It's fast by even today's standards, but in 1970, it was mind-blowing. Number 3. Plymouth Hemi Cuda, 1971. The legendary 426 Hemi engine is probably the most sought-after V8 of the classic muscle car scene. Everything with this monster under the hood was very fast and respectable on the street, but in 1971, Hemi Cuda was the top of the Mopar food chain. Despite being the well-known number of Hemi Cudas powered by this iconic motor was relatively small, at just 119 examples, the reason was the high cost of this option over a similarly potent but much cheaper 440 V8. However, those who could afford the 426 Hemi got an astonishing performer, which made a high-revving V8 with stunning good looks. Rated at 425 horsepower, realistically around 500 horsepower, the 1971 Hemi Cuda sprinted to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds flat when equipped with a close ratio 4-speed manual. But what is even more impressive is the quarter-mile time of 13.2 seconds at 107 miles per hour. If you had a Hemi Cuda in 1971, you were probably the fastest guy or girl in your area. Number 4. Pontiac Trans Am SD 455, 1973. The classic muscle car era was getting to its end as the 70s progressed, but the company that started the segment had a final word. The 1973 Trans Am SD 455 was a heavy hitter in a time when most of the companies abandoned the market. Based on F-body architecture, the 1973 SD 455 was a race-bred beast with a big 455 V8, modified to deliver 310 horsepower. Yes, it doesn't sound like much, but it was the most powerful muscle car in 1973. It hit a massive torque rating of 400 pound-foot due to the lightweight construction, improved traction, and suspension. The sleek-looking Trans Am SD 455 was able to jump to 60 miles per hour in 5.4 seconds and cover 402 meters, a quarter mile, in 13.45 seconds. That's 104 miles per hour. Considering that it had almost no competition at that point, this was the last properly fast muscle car of the 70s. Number 5. Dodge Challenger RT, 1970. The Dodge Challenger RT was a close relative of the Plymouth Hemi Cuda. However, without an expensive and sometimes tricky-to-maintain Hemi V8 engine. Under the hood was a 440 Magnum V8 with a famous 6-pack intake, 3 two-barrel carburetors, which allowed this massive engine to deliver a healthy 390 horsepower. Although not as exotic as some other cars on the list, the Challenger RT was more affordable, easier to modify and tune, and almost as fast straight from the dealership floor. The 1970 Challenger RT could be equipped either with an automatic or a 4-speed manual, but regardless of the transmission choice, when you hit the right pedal hard enough, you could see 60 miles per hour in about 5.5 seconds. The quarter mile was 13.62 seconds at 104 miles per hour, which was enough to put this Dodge among the fastest cars of the era and a true classic of the muscle car genre. It is certainly amazing that cars over 50 years old can be that fast. Remember that next time you pull up to a classic with a rough idle at the stoplight. It might just be one of the cars from our list, and it might just blow your doors off. Let us know if you like this video in the comments below, and for more exciting videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.